A few months back, I did a crossover where I took characters from My Hero Academia and turned them into mages. With that in mind, I think it's about time we do a second part to that series. Here's My Magical Academia, Part 2. A member of the prestigious Momo clan. The young heiress was a genius among geniuses. The reason why was because of her unique and extremely rare magical talent. She possessed one of the most rarest magical abilities there was. Complete creation magic. This magic was so rare that even members of her own clan were unable to wield it. It was a talent that showed once in every 1,000 years, and even then it was rare to show in any generation. Yaoyorozu got her place in the Azura Magical Academy through possessing this unique ability. Along with the complete creation magic was a second magical ability that was less so well known, and her intellect was boosted to kind of an S-rank level with this. It was far beyond. Her eyes could analyse any substance, organic, inorganic, structure, any device in the world, even spells. If she had enough magical power, she could produce any number of replicas as well as the original. Once she learned how to create an object, she was able to store this information in her memory, and she was able to recall this at any time. It was thought that she had a perfect memory, but that was not the case. Instead, she had access to a spatial dimension that had all the information and items stored within it, and she could recall these at any time. This space had next to zero magical power in usage, to use and to access. No one knows why this was the case. Any magical space this large as a dimension usually required a huge and substantial amount of magical power. Now for this one, I wanted to keep her design quite similar to sort of like the My Hero Academia style. She's got the red cape that she normally has, the cloak, but I've turned to a kind of magical one. She's creating a chain out of her hands on this one. I wanted to show her creating something, and I thought a chain would be a simple object to show. I also wanted her to be in a stance where she's kind of in a bit of a dynamic pose. Well, some of the portions are a little bit out in the pose. This led it to look a little bit odd in places, but overall it tied in with the style of the previous episode. For the creation magic, I know it's kind of like blue and whites, but I also want a bit of green in there. Our next mage is one whose identity remains a mystery. From the mysterious Shadow Clan, we have Fumikage. No one really knows his true identity or what he really looks like, let alone the identity of other members of the Shadow Clan. The reason for this is because they all wear masks from birth. Each mask is a different animal depending on which branch or section or position or status they have within the clan. Due to this, the birth masks are attached using a form of sealing magic known to the clan, and they cannot be removed as far as other mages have heard, even after a clan member's death. Fumikage is one of the Shadow Clan's young hopefuls and possesses some of the greatest potential the clan has seen for decades. His affinity to the shadow element is far greater than anyone could have ever imagined. In fact, it's so great it even terrifies some clan members. What makes Fumikage even more mysterious is his personality. He is reserved and serious, but at the same time he is extremely focused with a honour and nobility around him. He has a tendency to ignore questions when asked or instructions, especially when he seems it's a pointless thing to do. The strangest thing, however, is that if he has to work with others, he actually becomes more sociable and is a great team member. He's helpful and he shows a level of trust which doesn't come across in his normal demeanour of everyday life. The spells of the Shadow Clan are formidable to say the least. Not only in defensive but also offensive power. Strange being a shadow element, you would have thought that the defense would be weak and not too great. Other than the fact that light can cause the spells to lose power or even to shatter them and break them, a weakness that affects all Shadow Clan members. Of course, when in darker surroundings and at night, the power of the shadow magic is intensified, and the Shadow Mage's spells are amplified. They're double, triple, sometimes even more depending on the situation because of the boost in its elemental particles in the air. The more advanced members of the Shadow Clan have been known to wear the shadows as armour on their bodies, and at times it's been rumoured to be as tough as the strongest materials known to mankind. Now for this, I wanted to keep the design clear and simple. I wanted to have his iconic quirk in terms of sort of like his shadow character creature of his quirk coming out. I also wanted to have the head in the shape of his character design really, but to bring it into the magical universe, instead of making him another race, which we might get into a bit later on in the series, I wanted to give him a mask and give him a bit of mystery about him. I also thought his design would be quite simple. It's mainly black with a few gold bits and red bits on there and some of the skin exposed, but he has this cloak which helps increase his powers. He can use it to create a bit of a shadow boost, and I wanted the design to have more of a darker feel to it. So for the background, I've kind of gone with purples and blacks and kind of like a full shadow effect on it. In terms of the actual shadow creature that he has in My Hero Academia, I've not changed it too much, but I've made it a bit more smoky in this one. I thought that it gives a bit more of a feel of a shadow and added some blue tints to it. Anyway, I hope you like the overall look of Fumikage. Perhaps one of the more out of place looking characters in the Academy is Kirishima. Although average in height and rather impressive with his physique, not uncommon for Earth mages, but he was rather well built, even for those of his age. They are known as combat types with massively high defensive skills. The reason he looked a bit out of place, well, they don't usually possess a defense and a built physique as this until after they graduate. Being a new student at the university, he looked like he kind of skipped a few years. He was a prodigy among the clan members and among Earth mages. Kirishima has a super friendly personality and is always full of plenty of energy. He acknowledges the strength of others and is capable of making friends with most people, even those he's battling against. Being an Earth mage, he can control, you guessed it, the Earth, in its various stages from fine particles of sand to more denser boulders, rocks, and mountain structures. He can use them as barriers or as offensive projectiles and even armour. One of the rather unique abilities he's got, which is super rare among Earth mages, is he can actually create minerals and gems. Although in its early forms of development, he's not mastered it quite so much and he can only generate a gem of a small size in certain areas. However, it has been rumoured that if an Earth mage can create a gem-like material, then their future potential is unlimited. Of course, as with Earth mages, he has an insanely high defense, and at first it looks almost unbreakable. However, being an Earth mage, the vast majority of his strength comes from the Earth. His biggest weakness is that if he gets separated from the ground for too long, he will lose up to 80% of his powers, his defense and his offensive skills. Where this, of course, is an issue, most combat mages of the Earth clans do have their own methods to go against this, and we'll cover those another time. There you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the process of bringing these My Hero Academia characters into the My Magical Academia universe in part 2 of this series. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe and turn on notifications to update videos as they come out. Remember, share the video with anybody who you think might enjoy it. There'll be a link to the first one of this where I turn Yuraka, Bakugo and Deku into mages. I'll put a link at the end of the video in the end screen, as well as in the description below. Let me know in the comments below who else you'd like to see. I can do some of the villains next time, or I can do some more of Class 1A. Remember, stay safe everybody, and I'll catch you next time.